Support for Radio Friends comes from Rose Heart Hypnotherapy, serving Central Missouri since 2007. They specialize in pain management, pre- and post-medical procedures, fears, phobias, and increasing performance and success in every area of life. Athletes needing sports hypnosis to improve their ability will be pleased to know that Rose Heart Hypnotherapy specializes in neurofeedback and is the only certified OptiBrain train and golf practitioner in Missouri. Call Rose Heart Hypnotherapy at 888-604-9997 or visit mohyp.com and experience true success. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Friday, May the 4th. Good to have you with us today. You know, we get into spring and summer and we all spend more time outdoors. So we talk about skin cancer. And I want to introduce you to Dr. Kara Braudis from MU Healthcare. Good to have you here, Doctor.
Thanks for having me.
The one reason you're here today is you wanted to talk about screening, free screening that you have.
Yes.
But why is skin screening so important?
So May is Skin Cancer Awareness Month, and in honor of that, we are conducting a free screening upcoming at Ellis Fischel Cancer Center on May the 10th. But I'm also here to let people know that they can self-screen and to emphasize the importance of knowing your own skin and also helping your partner to know their own skin.
So how do you self-screen?
Yeah. So we talk a lot about melanoma because it is the most deadly form of skin cancer. There are other forms of skin cancer, which can be a threat to your health if left to go to a very advanced stage. But the one we really worry about is melanoma because that's the one that results in the most mortalities every year. And the incidence has been increasing. In fact, has doubled since 1982. I think the incidence of melanoma has doubled.
So how do you know if you have a melanoma?
If you have a melanoma. So there are certain signs to look for. We talk about the A, B, C, D, E's because that's easy for people to remember. So A is for asymmetry. You have an irregular looking lesion that doesn't match side to side. B is for the borders. It's not round, it's irregular in shape. C is for color, so it might have multiple colors like dark brown, light brown, white, black, pink. D is for diameter. So we talk about it being kind of over 5 to 10 millimeters, a little bit larger than the size of a good pencil eraser. And then E, which I think is the most important one, is for evolution. So anything that's changing or symptomatic, you should have checked out by your doctor.
Does it hurt? If you touch it, does it hurt?
They're often not painful, but they may be a little bit itchy. They may actually ulcerate and bleed just a little bit, or bleed with very minor trauma like washing.
So if you see something like this, you should contact your doctor immediately.
Yes, yes.
And then how do you take it off? Is it burnt off? Is it cut out?
Yeah, it's typically biopsy is performed, and so the area is numbed with just a local numbing medicine like lidocaine. And then the biopsy can be performed in a number of ways. Sometimes it's sort of a little shave or a little scoop of the lesion, and sometimes it would be more of what we call a punch biopsy or a little plug of skin taken out around the lesion to sample it or remove it in its entirety. And then it goes to the laboratory for diagnosis. And then after a few days, you know if it was an atypical looking lesion, whether or not it was just sort of a funny looking mole, right? Or or melanoma.
Okay, so you're going to have the free skin screening at Ellis Fischel on Thursday, May the 10th, and there's no charge. But you do need to make a reservation.
That's correct.
Okay.
We do take reservations, but there's no charge. It's free and open to the public.
Okay, Doctor, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, I do appreciate it. And so if you want more information on this, it'll be Thursday, May the 10th, 3 to 6 p.m. at Ellis Fischel, first floor. It's available for anybody 18 years of age or older. Call 884-2049 to make a reservation. It's free of charge, and it could end up saving your life. That's 884-2049. Okay? Mark that down. Now I want to introduce you to a very spunky young lady, Rebecca Smith. KBIA Health and Wellness. Good to have you here, Rebecca Smith.
It's great to be back, Paul.
From the Health and Wellness desk.
The desk that is still does not have a physical desk. We, believe it or not, have our own desks still.
Okay.
All
right. So what have you got going on? I know you work very hard. You're very excited about everything that you do. What have we got going on right now?
Well, so last time I was on, Paul, I was introducing you to a project that I do called Missouri Health Talks. And the idea behind that project is I'm traveling to rural Missouri and I'm asking people to sit down with people in their own life that they choose, whether that's their mom or best friend or whomever, and have conversations about access to care. So rather than me interviewing them and cutting some sound bites, people are actually sitting down and having long conversations with people they trust about their access to care issues. And I'm turning that into 4-minute pieces on KBIA. The idea being empowering Missourians to tell their own stories and really getting a better glimpse of what health is like throughout Missouri, outside Columbia, outside St. Louis, outside Kansas City.
So what has surprised you the most?
Oh, goodness. Well, I've covered a lot of topics. We've covered addiction, and I mean, I interviewed a couple, and one of them went to Mexico for gastric bypass because it was cheaper, and I talk a lot about disability. And I think
gastric bypass, that's where you take part of your intestines out so you lose weight?
Yeah, it is. It's a great story. I actually just reran it recently, and there's this couple, and it was cheaper for this guy from Pulaski County, Missouri, to go to Mexico, get this surgery, and then come back rather than get it done here in the U.S. with his insurance. So it's fascinating. But I think the thing that I'm finding through this project, through these conversations, is how everything overlaps. It's not just that people have one health issue. It's not just one barrier to access. It's how all of them overlap to really detriment the health of a community. We talk so much about St. Louis and Kansas City and Columbia and these more urban centers, but once you get outside of these urban centers, you're driving to Pulaski County or Worth County or Wayne County, these counties that don't have many people, they don't get a lot of coverage, and there's not a lot of access to care. So that's kind of the idea, is that I'm trying to get on the road.
We're very, very fortunate in Columbia.
Very fortunate.
In Columbia, to have all of the medical facilities that we have at our fingertips.
It's true.
And even if you live in Boone County, even if you don't live in Columbia, but you live in a certain radius around Columbia, very fortunate for what we have.
It's true. I was looking at some data recently, and I believe Boone County has like one of the highest numbers per population of physicians, huge numbers of physicians, plentiful access here. But that doesn't mean that people aren't still experiencing barriers to care. I mean, one of my first pieces with Missouri Health Talks was a couple people who work over at the Refugee and Immigration Services office here in town, and they talked about the need for more mental health supports for recent refugees and immigrants. So just because you have doctors doesn't mean there's not still barriers to access, whether that's financial, whether that's cultural, whether that's language. I mean, there's a myriad of issues that can prevent someone from accessing care, and the whole idea behind my project is really trying to allow people to talk about those access barriers and give us a better idea of what health is like throughout Missouri beyond just number of doctors, beyond just people who are or are not insured.
I mean, it really is a fascinating subject. The program airs what time on KBIA?
It airs at 4:44 on Thursdays and
4:44 in the afternoon.
In the afternoon, and then it also airs Friday morning during Morning Edition.
Okay, at what time?
Oh gosh, they've changed it on me a couple times. I'm pretty sure it's 8:35.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
All right. Rebecca Smith, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me
From
again.
the Health and Wellness Desk at KBIA.
Yeah, and if people want to look up the stories, they can go to KBIA, of course, and look up Missouri Health Talks or MissouriHealthTalks.org.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Pleasure
Paul.
to have you. You're always exciting to talk to.
Thanks.
See you. Bye-bye.